surpasseth a worthy opponent. I win.
Wow. I did it. I really did it. It's over. The day is Friday, the 29th of November, 2024. The Semester 2 2024 exam results came out this morning. I took the day off for this. In years past, I'd always just work on the day of the results and check my results once I got to work, or during the traffic lights on the way to work. Oops. But earlier this year, I took the day off for the results of Exam 5, and I did the same today for Exam 6. I wake up after whatever sleep in my body clock allowed me to have. I opened up my phone. The WhatsApp group was going crazy, everyone talking about their exam results and whatnot. I log into my emails on my phone. I'd do it via my laptop, but that thing takes ages to boot up. So, I click the link to view results. I sign in, and I'm taken to the results page. I need to scroll across to view the results for Global Strategy and Leadership, the last exam, the final test. And I see it. The elusive pass. That's it. It's over.
I win.
There wasn't some sudden burst of emotions like there would be with a buzzer-beating game-winning shot in Game 7 in the NBA Finals, since that would be a shot that directly pushed you over the edge and gave you victory. But instead, I'm also felt a sense of relief that it is finally over. But you just had clarity now. It's like when you're up by 25 points with 5 minutes left to go, you know you've pretty much won. But it's not official until the buzzer sounds. I knew I did well on this exam. I just needed that final buzzer for confirmation. It's crazy how I'm not jumping up and down with excitement. No clue what mix of regular or newer viewers will be watching/listening to this, but in July of 2017, it was even questionable if I'd remain in my university degree. Long story short, but I almost got kicked out due to my grades being so bad. Fast forward 7.5 years later, which seems like a lot of time, and although it does feel like a lifetime ago, 7.5 years really isn't that long in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, 7.5 years later, and not only did I end up completing my degree, but I completed my CPA studies too, a much harder qualification than my bachelor's degree. But I suppose once you do things for long enough, you become desensitized to it, such as my physique and finances. If you told me 8 years ago that I'd have those, I would have thought you were telling me a fairy tale. But over the years, as you work towards that goal and you see results showing up, the goal no longer becomes so out of reach. I started my CPA studies in 2021. We're closing in on the end of 2024 now, and it's over. It incorporated well into my overall routine I had going on. Between my weekday accounting job, my weekend supermarket job, my 4-day gym routine that I rarely stuck to because there'd always be something that came up, my YouTube channel, my stock market sussing routine, my real estate shenanigans that are still going on to this day. I have land that still hasn't settled. As well as having some social events and family events, even a family holiday thrown in the mix, CPA studies managed to fit in nicely. It obviously helped that I'd fully lock in on the studies when it got closer to the exam date. I'd take time off both jobs. I'd ditch gym entirely, ditch YouTube entirely, ditch pretty much all stock market info stuff, and totally lock in on the exam. And it worked 6 out of 8 times. I failed financial reporting twice, my only fails. And my second fail only occurred due to running out of time between finishing my tutors classes and the exam. If I had 1.5 weeks to summarize my tutors notes, I would have passed that attempt for sure. But that's irrelevant now. I passed. The extra $1,300-ish bucks I spent on that subject and the extra 6 months of time spent without my CPA designation is irrelevant, because now I have it. The journey is much less important to me now that I've arrived at the destination. They say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, which does hold true for many aspects in life, such as your gym routine or growing your own brand. But it doesn't hold as true for something like your studies. Yes, I somewhat look back fondly on those times, like studying on a Saturday night, blasting the Crash Bandicoot 1 soundtrack as my study music whilst I potted away at study whilst snacking on jelly beans or Smarties, but I'd prefer to have my studies totally done than have to go through all that again. The timing of this CPA journey was also interesting. I started it at the start of 2021, as I mentioned before. What else did I start at the beginning of 2021? My current job. What else did I start in early 2021? My current stock trading / finance / investing journey. What else did I start in early 2021? My YouTube channel. What did I start in September of 2021? My real estate journey. That's when I signed for my land, and shortly before that I was discussing the idea with one of my friends, and a good opportunity so happened to come up at that time. So my CPA journey started alongside some other very important journeys in my life. My current role has really progressed my career, as well as my income. I have had 2 jobs prior, which I have kind of talked about before. I talked about how I got fired from them, lol. But the first one was part-time, didn't teach me anything. I was a glorified intern at best. Got paid like $20.84 per hour. My second job was full-time. I did learn some stuff, but being there for only 4 months, with about 1.5 months spent purely on business activity statements, there's only so much you can learn. And that job paid $22.77 per hour. I was super discouraged from losing that second job, as if my confidence wasn't shot enough from losing the first one. I thought I had turned my life / career around after the failures that led to July of 2017, when I got the email from uni saying, "We don't think you're cut out for your studies," which I've talked about before. After losing job 2, I told myself, no jobs until late 2021. I'm so done with this career. I just need to relax. I am sick of failing. That shattered confidence almost led me to saying no to this current role I have now, which I also talked about before. A split-second decision changed the trajectory of my life. If I said no, who knows what I could have been doing at this point in time. I wouldn't have the money to properly fund CPA, my stocks, my YouTube, and certainly not my real estate. But I could eventually have gotten another role. But who knows if it would be as great as this current role. So my CPA journey started alongside my journey at this role, and here I am at this role. I've had promotions, pay raises, recently been granted my own office, heaps of growth, and my journey at this job will continue into the future. Meanwhile, my CPA journey has ended. I mean, obviously I know I'm only just beginning as an official CPA, but I mean the whole study journey. The study journey is over. The financial / money journey has also improved, obviously. I guess this is less important since I was making money in 2020, but it was like, I don't know, $25,000 to $30,000 a year since I was only working part-time at Woolies, whereas things like stocks / YouTube / real estate were totally non-existent at that stage. But I started off on around $86,000 total between both jobs at the start of 2021 to now being around $127,000 in total. Good progress for sure. My money journey is still on its way up, while my CPA chapter is coming to a close. My stock trading journey is also continuing. There's been heaps of ups and downs with that, but I'm so much more aware of the global markets / financial system / economy as a result of this study, like this self-study on the markets. It's made me understand the way things work so much better, all whilst allowing me to make some quick profits off that knowledge here and there. It's also crazy to consider that when I started my CPA journey, I had no clue what the NASDAQ was. Fast forward, now my CPA studies are done, and I know way more about the markets than I once did. Same goes with YouTube. I started that journey shortly after starting my CPA journey, from having 0 subscribers, no clue really in what the heck I was doing, to now having around 1,800 subscribers, all the while the CPA journey is now complete. Similar deal with real estate, although this started much later in 2021, and I already passed 1 CPA exam before even thinking about land / signing this contract. it's still somewhat correlated with my current chapter/journey in the game of life. This is close to being ready to build on, so it's also progressed, but not in the way you'd expect it to. Like in many cases, you could have had a house built on the land by now. Like it's changed from being a bunch of dirt to being an organized bunch of dirt with markings and council approval and an official address, and it also has grass now. But usually you would have expected to have a house on this thing by now. Meanwhile, I've gone from accounts officer to accountant in terms of my job title, let alone everything else I've learned about accounting during that time. My income has gone up by like $40,000 in total. My stock trading/investing journey has gone from 0 to pretty intermediate in that same time frame. My YouTube channel has gone from 0 subscribers to monetized in that time frame. And I've also improved in the gym too, although not as rapidly as one would expect in a 4-ish year period. But to be fair, it's pretty hard to make insane gym progress whilst actually having a life/other commitments. It's pretty easy to progress in the gym if that's what you do all day. It almost feels like a group of friends starting uni at the same time, except they're all doing varying degrees. And it feels like the CPA finished their degree first, but the real estate, the stock trader, the YouTuber, and the actual career accountant are all still at uni. Their journeys aren't over, but their one friend's journey is. Not sure if that analogy makes sense in this context, but it feels that way for me. Out of all of the several journeys I started in 2021, one of them is officially done and dusted. Although I guess when it comes to stock trading, YouTube channel, your own career, those journeys are never really over, are they? There's no set exams/stipulations required to complete these journeys. I guess you could argue my YouTube journey was done when I became monetized, since that requires hitting a certain objective/requirements to officially be monetized, the same way objectives are required to be a CPA. So, now what? Are we totally done with professional development? Well, not quite. I have a few other plans to do now that CPA is over, and I have more spare time. None of these objectives on screen are anywhere near as time-consuming or grueling as the CPA program, though. In fact, some will probably be completed by year's end. The leadership training, Excel, and the aesthetic stat-related objective that is classified for now will for sure be done by year's end, maybe even halfway through December. I imagine I'll have the crypto wallet thing and pay down mortgage versus income basically completed too, but we'll see. So already made good progress in this list of things to do since I finished my CPA exam. 1 out of 10 is already complete, and we'll have 4 out of 10 totally done, maybe even 6 out of 10 done by the end of the year. I've actually already started the stock trading one. I'm not very far through it at all, but I have started. And I don't think it'll take anywhere near as long as I expected it to either. The video editing for DaVinci Pro shouldn't be too hard either. I currently use Adobe Premiere Pro, but the recurring annual cost is a pain. Paying a one-off fee for DaVinci Pro is way better. Also, a video from Sasha Yanshin exposed some bullcrap at Adobe, and even then, my style of videos doesn't usually warrant fancy edits, so this transition shouldn't be too hard. The real estate one will be interesting. I kinda have an idea on where to start, but finding all the info I need may take some time. But again, nowhere near as bad as what's required of me from the CPA program. Then, Power BI. I know for a fact having this trait will boost my career skills, but that's last on the list since my workplace is still yet to fully integrate Power BI into our operations. But once they do, you bet I'll be studying this thing like a nerd. Theoretically, this professional development thing never ends, but in terms of main tangible objectives, this could be it, at least for a long time after this. Obviously, CPA is the main one, and now that that's done, I have my sights on some other small victory laps/post-game content. It's like once you beat the Pokemon League, you have the Battle Tower. The Battle Tower is extra content, but it's not really mandatory in the whole journey. But my leadership training is important info for becoming a manager, specifically a finance manager. Once that's done, there's not much else to do on that topic. Like, yeah, you hone your skills and whatnot, but this is the main thing in terms of a tangible qualification to put on your resume. The Excel thing is in the same boat. Yes, you can still grow your Excel skills, but you basically have the meat and potatoes of it done once you complete this Excel thing. The more relevant skills to your career have already been covered in the course. I already knew a lot of what's in this course, obviously, but I imagine most of the useful information is covered in this course, so anything extra isn't totally necessary for my career. Likewise with Power BI. Yeah, there's probably some extra AI related stuff relating to business, and I'll worry about that as it becomes more relevant. But for now, understanding Power BI and doing a quick course on it is probably as good as you'll get in terms of a broad range of AI related skills for accounting purposes. Once I've completed the stock trading course, I'll know how to properly apply my indicators and I'll have enough gaps in my strategy plugged. From there, it's just refining my skills and practicing what I already know. Same with a real estate course. Once I know all the main points of real estate investing, it's not really going to change on me a whole heap. So I'd basically have the meat and potatoes of that realm of the investor stat all sorted. So once stock and real estate knowledge have been solidified, that's pretty much it for the investor stat. The main objectives, the meat and potatoes are sorted. From there, just utilize what you already know and make slight adjustments and improvements. The same way my career will work now that my CPA studies are done. And obviously, everything else in general will also have the bulk of the work done, the meat and potatoes. Once I have everything on this list complete, any extra work will just be the cherry on top of the cake. It feels great knowing that basically all this will well and truly be done before I turn 29. There could possibly be more work in the future, but I'm doubtful. Once these tasks are done, as mentioned, any extra work is just icing on the cake. I'm unlikely to research/do homework on something totally new. But in the meantime, I will enjoy this huge W. Yes, I have more work to do, but you gotta stop and smell the roses sometimes. It's okay to take a pit stop at a checkpoint in the game of life and reflect on your accomplishments. It feels amazing to know that I'm done. But admittedly, the feeling hasn't fully set in yet. But I believe it will have set in on my graduation day, which won't be for several months yet. In the meantime, I'll enjoy my day off, despite the fact that most of this day has been spent making this video, but it's fine, making videos is fun. We're back to my part-time job tomorrow, got a few social events in the coming weeks, along with my general grind, but at least I'm done with my CPA studies. Anyone here finished their studies? How far through the journey are you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. That is all.